Hello, everyone. Live with the festive little snow background, even though it's like 70 degrees in Knoxville, from Thompson Bowling Arena. Gonna start giving people a little bit of time to come in live as y'all get to where you're going. There's Credence. Maria was right in front of you. Deb is here. Deb Bradley, Trish Jackson, tough loss. Tony Anthony Hill, great game. It was fun to watch. I'll give it that. It's hot, so I'm having Sprite. I don't even usually drink that, but I need a boost. I need some sugar. It's hard to tweet all game long. I got to go 40 minutes no matter what. Then post game. Now here. Credence, I heard a lot of people. Karen is here. Amanda's here. Julia Nicolia's here. Good fight. Yep, that's what you want to see. A game like that, you go down 20 points in the first half to the number 3 team in the country, you could pack it in. Now, the legitimate question is, don't go down. What were you doing that you needed to stop doing to go down 20 points? And obviously, the team knows it. Kelly knows it. So they're all they're taking the loss the way you'd want to. They're disappointed. They're upset, and they'll bounce back. So I think one thing we all absolutely saw is that how critical Tamari Key is to be on the floor. She affects the game. Her plus minus was still plus, even plus 19, even though she only played 15 minutes. She has so much impact on both ends of the floor. And her being in foul trouble, 2 fouls in the first half. She only played 4 minutes, picked up the third, picked up a fourth. Do I think some of them were legit? Yeah. Do I think all of them were legit? No. I am so tired of seeing players fall down, and there are certain women's officials that if a player falls down, they immediately assume a foul. I mean, and honestly, I think there's times where players sell the falling down, and I would like to see that out of the women's game. They don't call the men's game like that. I would love to see that part out of the women's game. If you fall down, it could be just because you fell down, not because you were fouled. Keith said, bottom line, we were a different team when TK was in the game. Absolutely. I mean, particularly Stanford's size. Stanford is the first team Tennessee, maybe one of the only teams Tennessee sees. South Carolina has some size too, though, but is taller than them. I mean, when you watch Stanford warm up on the other end before the game, it was like, my goodness, they're tall. And you're just not used to seeing that. And when you take out a player like Tamari Key, Tennessee is having to guard inside with much smaller players. Now, with that said, Tennessee's defense in the third quarter was outstanding, absolutely outstanding. Bobby said they need to let me ref Lady Vol games. Bobby, that'd be fine by me. I mean, just don't call people who don't assume a foul if someone falls down. Sometimes they just fell down. Renee said, hello, all saw you tonight, Maria, your fingers were flying. Yeah, I am writing a game story that I got to get up on 247 Sports like within 10 minutes of the game ending. I am tweeting. I am answering text messages. I'm trying to get everything possibly that I can get done in a short little time frame of the game. Karen said, when will refs learn that a fall is not a foul? Karen, the answer to that is never. There are certain officials that are always going to call it. And so my answer to that is a very depressing never. With certain officials, they're just going to call it. But I'm glad to see y'all are in a pretty good mood. I wasn't sure what kind of mood y'all would be in. And there's plenty to criticize in this game. And there's plenty to like in this game. And what Kelly really likes about this team is that they already knew at halftime what was wrong. There are times she's gone in at halftime and lit them up, particularly if it's a team a team that is so overmatched against Tennessee and they're not playing well. She'll light them up in that case. She read the room and the mood of her team and did not light them up at halftime. They talked about what they needed to do and how they could get back in this game, and that's exactly what they did. So that was that's a coach knowing how to read her own team, and then we saw that third quarter. Karen, it wasn't a Pac-12 crew. I've seen all three of them in Thompson Bowling all season. That's just a regular crew. There's really not. The officials really travel all over the place now. They got rid of conference officials that were primarily one conference. There are times I see some I do not know. That was not the case. I've seen all three of these this season, and there's one in particular who calls people that fall down. So I saw that on there and knew, okay, fall down. That's gonna be a foul. So Tony said, Maria, we missed too many chippies and free throws. Yet chippies, sometimes chippies aren't as close as you think, and when you're in there with trees, literally, that's going to happen. Tony, I'll agree with you on a point sometimes, and I think sometimes when you have a taller defender like that, you start aiming instead of shooting, and then you just got to go up hard and go into them. Alexis died. Jordan Horston really did so, particularly Alexis in that third quarter. She quit settling on jump shots and went, just slash and go and put the defense on their heels. And that version of Alexis Dye is the version Tennessee needs, because that is an unstoppable force, even at 6 foot inside. So the other thing, of course, and that I have said is free throws. Now, I'm not going to blame that. Free throws are not why Tennessee lost this game. There are other factors: points in the paint, getting down 20, out rebounded. Tennessee doesn't usually get out rebounded. They were out rebounded. In the first half, it was way out rebounded. They cleaned that up in the second half to close to 52-43, but it was an ugly board mess, particularly through the first 15 minutes of the game. But Tennessee was 16-29 and for 55%. And I've said on this show, y'all have heard me through, what are we at, 10 games now? Y'all have heard me say those free throws are going to bite you. They're going to bite you in a big game. I'm not saying they make a few more, they win it, but boy, it certainly makes a different calculus in terms of how Stanford has to respond. Stanford, on the other hand, 21-24 from the line. So it is a one thing you can control. You can absolutely control free throws, and it is a nemesis right now for this team. And they work on them in practice. They take them in practice, but it in games like this, big games like this, SEC games, it's something that you got to correct. And actually, Stanford has some excellent free throw shooters. Haley Jones, 12 of 12. Stanford had several misfire too, but not like Tennessee did. Like I said, they were 87.5% as a team. Actually, they had three people go 1 of 2. Everybody else was 2 of 2, 2 of 2, 12 of 12, 2 of 2. But we have all seen teams come in here, some really good teams that Tennessee has played, that miss free throws. It's just something that has got to and Tennessee's not the only team, is you just got to turn it into a strength. Mark said Tennessee looked a little lethargic first half. Mark, Jordan Horston, who we absolutely love to interview post-game, and Horston had 19 points and 12 rebounds, just an absolutely dominating performance from her. Said she thought a little bit of nerves got to the team. We sometimes forget there's a lot of new pieces, a lot of new combinations, and then you have such a steady player like Tamari Key, who can only play 4 minutes in the first half. And she said she think that got to the team a little bit. And Jordan Horston always gives the most honest, she gives really insightful post games. She said this loss hurts. We're hurt by this loss, and that's what you want to hear. I've sometimes seen teams where they lost a game, and they seemed okay with it afterwards. But this team is not. They already know what they did wrong. They already know what they need to get better at. So Kelly said all along, you're going to learn. You learn a lot from a loss. So far, we've learned a lot from wins. But this is a game where you watch a lot of film. Games like this, 1, 2, 3 possessions matter, and you start breaking down film. You break down every bit. You find things like where you're shooting a jump shot right here. We're barely, we haven't even made one pass yet, or we've made one pass and then a shot up. There's nobody yet in position to rebound. Tennessee's trying to get the last shot of the third quarter. I thought they launched that 3 too soon. Yeah, I said you got to let a couple more seconds go off that clock where you take that shot. Stanford, they get down the court in a hurry, and sure enough, Stanford hit that 3 at the buzzer of the third quarter, and you just sort of felt Tennessee go, they just couldn't get over that hump. They got it to 3. I think if you enter that fourth quarter down 3 instead of down 6, It's once again, a little bit different game. And those kind of plays make a huge, huge difference. Those one possession plays make a huge difference in a game like this. But the good thing, it's December. And there's so many opportunities to learn. And if there's one thing we've learned from this Tennessee team, it will learn and it will bounce back and it will fight. 20 points down in the first half. Stanford just hitting everything they could possibly hit, hitting threes, getting to the rim with ease. A team, you could have packed it in, but they did not. And I want to credit Tennessee for that, for not giving up on that game when they could have. I better mention our sponsors real quick. Let me find my list. There we go. Obviously, OrangeMountainDesigns.com. They're having you know how Pat Summitt always used to say, toughen up, Buttercup. They got that T-shirt on sale after this game. You got to toughen up. Got a loss, toughen up. Gold Standard, Jamel Johnson, of course, former Lady Vol soccer player. Her training, Alexis Hornbuckle basketball. She's taking appointments now for January. She's back into that along with the restaurant business, she is on the way back to Tap 40 right now. Just past it, tutoring, Collective Unfiltered, and of course, I do not want to forget Blue Water Climate Control for all your heating and air needs. And because this is East Tennessee, you kind of need heat and air, like a 24-hour difference. You may have the heat on today, you may have the air conditioning on tomorrow. So actually, it's reversed today. You probably need the AC, and then you're going to need the heat maybe Monday. And I think we're going to get warm again. So keep your HVAC system running well in East Tennessee, because you never know which part of it you're going to have to actually use. See if I can see some of the other comments here. Keith said, I think Stanford may give South Carolina a run for the money on Tuesday. Keith, I agree. And the thing is, with every top 10 game right now, you just never know what's going to happen. If Stanford can hit shots like that, they will. Now, one thing about South Carolina is, Leah Boston, she's not in foul trouble. I mean, she's putting up incredible numbers right now. I don't know any team that's been able to handle Leah Boston. And South Carolina also has, they have the ability to turn that into a 94-foot game. And I think South Carolina will win, but I think Stanford can make it a heck of a game. I'll try not to cuss. So, and I'm looking at free throw things. Somebody said we need to spend this break getting in the gym, putting up free throws. They make them in practice. So I'm not even sure taking more is going to make a difference right now. Adonis Harrison said you can practice free throws, but it's more mental during the game. Yeah, this is boiling down to a mental thing. Could also be a fatigue thing, too. Some players, you're playing a ton of minutes, and particularly when you have a player in foul trouble, that's a lot of minutes somebody has to pick up. So, but I want to give a shout out to the crowd. It was over 10,000. Took them. They seemed a little. They seemed a little lethargic in the first half too. Maybe they just need Tennessee to get behind and really start charging back. But men's basketball team was here. Obviously, they did not get to play in Nashville because of Memphis having COVID protocol issues, and they had to just take the bus and come back. Tennessee football team came in. They're obviously on campus practicing for their bowl game, so they are here. Normally, a football team of 2 years ago, last season before that was not in a bowl game, so all of the players would have gone home. Josh Heupel was here with them. There's just a different vibe at Tennessee athletics right now with all of the support for the teams, for each other. And I just want to shout out Danny White, UT Athletic Director. He has done a tremendous job. What a gift he has been to this community and this Tennessee Athletics Department. And because I just randomly talked to people about it, and they said, yeah, it's a totally different feeling. It's a totally different atmosphere. So shout out to the teams that came out to support the Lady Vols, the fans. Y'all were loud. It's really an excellent crowd, considering we are still navigating a pandemic. Ton of people wearing masks, some people not, but everybody's trying to do the best they can. So make the best decisions. Mark Painter said rebounds and free throws. Yeah, Tennessee's not used to getting out rebounded, but I will say Stanford is huge. I mean, it's absolutely huge team. And Tamari Key's your leading rebounder. She still managed to get 5. Imagine if she could have gone like 35 minutes. She probably had about 15 or 18. Now once again, you're at a different game. But that's also going to be going to be something you can't always control. Sheriff Ford had a great point. Green goes hard inside also, no matter who is posting up. I agree. Kean goes hard to the rim, and she goes at them. She forces them to foul them. If you back off a taller player, you're giving them space to block you. So Kean just goes right at them, get into their body. It's just been a situation where Tennessee's not used to seeing players that are not only at their eye level, but in some cases above them. And it's different until you get in it. You can watch it on film, but it's different when you're physically in it. Denise is checking in, been sick the last couple of days. My dad is in the hospital. Denise, please get well. Take care of yourself, and I hope your dad gets better. This is not the time of year you want to be in the hospital. Michelle said, I feel like the refs let a lot of moving screens by Stanford go. Moving screens seem to be either tightly called or not called at all. There's been games I've watched this year where I'm like, well, that's one. And sometimes they call them, sometimes they don't. Both teams just have to adjust to it. If they're not calling them, they're going to keep doing it. So Keith pointed out Snoop came out on a mission after the half. We need her to play like that every game. Yeah, and she can. I think sometimes – players can let a game, can sort of feel out a game, see how it's going. And she is such an effective player when she is playing right, go-aheaded right to the rim with the ball. Plus, that'll open up her, that pretty jumper she has. So, and she is just relentless on the glass. She finished with 8 rebounds, 14 points. Just absolutely hard player to keep out the glass. The combination of Brooklyn Miles and Jordan Horston harassing the ball carrier, I like that. Tennessee, I would like to see them get the one thing you got to do is get your freshmen going, get your rotation going. I would like to see Tennessee moving forward do a little bit more trapping and full court pressure. Now you got to be careful of that because then you got foul issues. So I realize there's a balance there, but this is a Tennessee team that has the potential to be a very good pressure team. So I do think Brooklyn Miles is just, she's just effort player. She doesn't give up on the ball. She doesn't quit. She goes after it. And Jordan Horston was right there with her. Brooklyn ended up with 5 points tonight, 3 rebounds. So, like I said before, I'm looking at the box score. Jordan Horston led the team with 19 points. Also in double figures, Alexis Dye with 14. Sarah Puckett with 10. I like Jordan Walker had some outstanding minutes. She had 8 points, 3 assists, 0 turnovers, and 5 rebounds. Tennessee had its turnovers well under control. They only had 15. That is a number you can live with every game. Stanford had 17. Tennessee had 10 steals. Stanford had 6. The Cardinal had 5 blocks. Tennessee had 3. So just one of those December games. It's really great for both teams. You learn a lot about yourself in a game like this, and that's what you want. You want teams that you're going to learn something from. And I don't want to take anything. I've talked about people falling down or the rebounding or fouls like that. Stanford won this game. I do not want to take anything away from Stanford whatsoever. Outstanding basketball team, fun to watch. Everybody needs to know their role and how you can help the team. Ashton Prechtel came off. She comes off the bench, but she plays a lot of minutes. Tara uses her effectively in games. She is the one that broke Tennessee's back in that fourth quarter. She hit 3. Cameron Brink fouls out, and she comes in and hits back-to-back-to-back 3-pointers. Just totally changed the tone and tenor of that fourth quarter. And then Tennessee is once again still in scramble comeback mode. Now they did a heck of a comeback. Jordan Walker was leading it. Jordan, Alexis, Kean getting to the free throw line. Sarah Puckett hit a big 3. You see a lot to like, and you see a lot of growth with this team already this season. Adonis said Stanford is a well-coached team. Outstanding. Tara Vanderveer is the win. She obviously a year ago she passed Pat. She is the all-time winningest coach in women's college basketball Division I history, and you have to respect that. And I think Tennessee fans. You do not hear the sometimes you can tell fans don't like a particular team or opposing coach. None of that with Tara and Stanford. It's it's a series of respect. And Tara actually posted the Stanford women's basketball Twitter posted a photo of Tara standing by Pat's statue and saying this is a series of about respect. So Karen said, saw Kelly stare tonight. Wow, it reminds me of Pat. Yeah, sometimes it can come out. I mean, nobody can quite do it like Pat, but I'm going to give Kelly credit for getting close. There's a lot of Pat Summitt in her. When I came back out here to start this show, her kids were running around. Some of her family members, obviously here with the holidays coming up. Just fun to watch. Fun to watch her kids running around and her family. I mean, obviously Kelly much rather be coming out to her family after a win, but it's just an outstanding direction that Tennessee sports are headed in, just overall. Innocent culprit said, I'd like to see more aggression, moving and defending the ball at the court, more pressure in the backcourt. Boards are always necessary. Yes, I agree. And I think Tennessee can be a more aggressive team full court as you get players more comfortable, particularly the freshmen. Kaya Wynn obviously has had the broken nose. She's back now. I would love to see Kaya Wynn start to earn and evolve and into the kind of player we all know Kaya Wynn can be. Kelly knows she can be. Kaya knows she can be. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes as you're a freshman, particularly when you get hurt, trying to carve out a spot. I think Kaya Wynn can really help this team. Brooklyn Miles, obviously, is just a fireball of energy. Jordan Walker, just an absolutely steady person. It is a graduate transfer with the ball in her hand. Jordan Horston, I don't think I've said enough about her. What incredible effort. 12 rebounds, 10 on defense. They have Jordan Horston marked with 6 fouls as Kean Green. That's a weird box score. She did not have 6 fouls. She had 5 assists, 4 steals, 19 total points. Jordan Horston absolutely plays hard, and you could tell post-game this loss bothered her. It's going to bother her. It'll probably bother her tonight, tomorrow. They got to play Chattanooga on Monday, and Kelly said, I promise you my teams will be ready. She said never in her coaching career has a team overlooked that last opponent before you break for the holidays, for that Christmas break to go home. And she said, my team will not do that. And she goes, I don't think that the loss obviously will get probably Tennessee even a little more fired up Monday. But she said even if they'd won the game, she thought Tennessee would come in focused and ready. Trish asked, is Strickland hurt? I don't believe so. Sometimes when a player doesn't get in, it can be a case of what another player is doing, not because they don't deserve to play or can't help the team, but sometimes you just go with a combination that's working at the time. Craig Corbett said, I love Tess Darby, but I'm concerned about her game production. Right now, Greg, she's doing what Tennessee is asking her to do. Would they like to get her loose to hit some threes? Absolutely. But I do want to credit Stanford's defense. I mean, Stanford doesn't get enough credit for its defense. They are a long, rangy team. So, and sometimes, what did Tennessee shoot overall? Tennessee shot 30.3%. Tess took 2 3-pointers. She had 4 rebounds, no turnovers, a steal, and an assist. You definitely want to get Tess to get comfortable at the arc, but she knows she's heads up on the court. She knows where to be. I mean, she's just a sophomore, so she can give them quality minutes. But one thing you can say about Kelly, she is going to spread out these minutes. Absolutely spread them out. Jordan Horston went 35, which is the highest. Sarah went 30. Brooklyn 17. Kean 17. Alexis 23. Kelly is going to push some buttons and get the minutes that she can. So Crystal said, I think Ray being out is why we haven't seen as much full court pressure. The freshmen continue to get used to speed, so we will start seeing it more. I agree. I mean, freshmen, it's hard enough everything they're learning on defense. It's like, all right, now we're going to ask you to extend it 94 feet. And Ray, obviously, everybody's asking me about her, same thing. She's actually returned to practice to do some shooting drills and running some steps and doing some things like that, but there's no date or imminent return. I mean, obviously, it's not going to happen Monday. So we'll see what happens after the break and going forward from there. Glenda Sitara has always been respectful towards us. She really has. She's really respectful, I think, towards every team. And she and Pat had an outstanding relationship. It's been a great series. So it's one I think both coaches would want to continue to swap it out. Tennessee would obviously go to California next. It's a great trip. It's a fertile recruiting area. It's a good trip for Tennessee. So I think it's a great series and the kind of series you want in women's college basketball. Excuse me. And Ray obviously. I mean, it's a key player to be missing. Tennessee has done an incredible job of how they have adjusted because it is not easy to do. Stanford early in the season was adjusting to the loss of their point guard from last season, who helped them win a national title. She's a senior and graduated. So, and they're getting that figured out too. I think so. I think those couple early losses for Stanford were a result of getting everything figured out at the point. So. If Ray Burrell can get back, does Tennessee get better? Absolutely. But, Kelly and Tennessee, they obviously have a way they want to play. And that third quarter was Tennessee Lady Vol basketball. That is Tennessee Lady Vol basketball. Now, I'm not saying you can do that 40 minutes. It would be hard to sustain that level of effort for 40 minutes. And Stanford was making some mistakes too, which is what happens when you speed a team up sometimes and get them uncomfortable. I don't know. I mean, Stanford went over 6.5 minutes without scoring in the third quarter, and this is a team that can put up a lot of points. So that was Tennessee basketball, and that was fun to watch. I think y'all enjoyed it too. So it's I think I'm glad to hear y'all are pretty positive overall about this. I didn't know if you'd be upset or what, but it sounds like y'all are doing pretty well through it. Alexis is driving back. I don't think she's going to make it, but it's always interesting to hear from her. She was here. A lot of former Lady Vols here, and I know some recruits were here too. I saw one, Jordan Cambridge, I think is her name. She's 2024. There's one that I recognize. It's not always easy to see them. But I believe she was here. It's obviously a game that it's a great atmosphere if you're a recruit coming in taking a look. Tanya, who I got to see first game in 2 years in this pandemic, it's a tough loss, fought hard to get back in it. Free throws were a nemesis. Yes, they were. Renee, somebody said I saw her and maybe Renaya. I did not see her. I would love if she had been here. I'd love to see. Said hi. But there were a lot of people here and. It's not always easy to move about, so I could have easily missed somebody. I know Michelle Marciniak was here. So was Debbie Jennings was here. Always good to see her, former Lady Vols media relations chief. So Cheryl said they brought 6 recruits in sitting near me. You see them come in, but you fully understand, particularly as a member of media, you are not allowed near them. You're not allowed to speak to them. So I always keep my distance. Absolutely when they're recruiting, but it's a great game, great atmosphere to have had recruits at. Greg Corbett said sad but very positive. Yeah, that's a great reaction. I mean, you wanted to win this game. You wanted Tennessee to win, absolutely, but you saw a lot of things to like. It's not like Tennessee went down 20 and then just packed it in, and you're like, okay, maybe we're not as good as I thought. Tennessee is as good as you thought and can use this game to clean up some things. Tennessee can compete. Excuse me, very high level this season. Crystal said it was so loud in TBA during that third quarter, I definitely lost my voice. Yeah, the shout out to the fans in the third quarter. This place erupted. It was loud. So shout out to all of y'all for that. Sometimes you just need a little Sprite. I hardly ever drink soda. So I come here and then all of a sudden I got a Sprite. Well, I am going to wait a minute. Another comment. Despite the team's performance and our injuries, we still could have won the game. That is a huge plus for the team. That's from Julie. Nicole, I'll just say Julie because I'm going to mess that up. I agree wholeheartedly. It's a great comment. Absolutely. I mean, you could offer excuses for why, and Tennessee's not even doing that. They're pointing the fingers at themselves and things they need to do better. So good for them. But I can't believe it's already 9 o'clock. I'm going to think it is Sunday all day. Tomorrow I'm going to feel like I need to go to work. These Saturday games are confusing. So I need to get some video up, get home, write a full game story. If you always put my game stories up for no cost at 247sports.com. If you want to read them, go Vols247.com. It is a free click. Trying to grow the game, get everybody excited about Tennessee basketball. Obviously, I also put them out on social media. Renee said, thanks, Maria. Have a good day tomorrow. I will, Renee. I got to do a little setup story. They got to play Monday. You know, there's no days off. And that's what you buy into. There's no days off, not even for writers. I may take a couple off between Christmas. And let's see. I think who was that? Michelle said, watching from home, you could definitely hear how loud it was in third and fourth quarters. Absolutely. It was a lot of fun. It was a fun Saturday place to be. Lots of people saying thanks. You're always welcome. As always, I will thank you. You're the one that backs this program, buys tickets, buys gear, reads stories, supports the Lady Vols, and you've had to support the Lady Vols through a lot, and you remain loyal to them. So I always want to thank y'all. You guys have a great rest of your weekend. Stay safe. I have no idea what it's doing outside. It's probably 80 degrees, but it's probably raining. So I'll go back to Blue Water Climate Control. Make sure your HVAC is working. All of it. You're going to need it because in East Tennessee, we don't have any idea what the weather's going to be from one day to the next. Jan says you're going to be busy tomorrow. Yes, I am. I got to get a notebook up too. So, but I asked for this. This is what I do. So I enjoy it. It's part. It keeps me sane doing this. Mark said very spring-like. Yes, I had got a friend to run the lawnmower over my front yard just so I'd look better. My house yard will look better in the neighborhood. Just we're mowing in December here right now. Y'all have a great night. Be safe. Though I'll be here Monday night after the Chattanooga game. If you don't make it, I want to go ahead and tell you Merry Christmas now and Happy Holidays and any holidays you celebrate. Or if you don't celebrate, I hope you have a great rest of 2021. If not, if you don't have a great, but if not, and you will be here, I will see the rest of you guys Monday night. Peace.